Right. And I'm glad that you brought that up, is that sometimes, even though you can write it off, it may not be the best strategy. And that's why we talk about creating strategies for people.
Yes.
Because if you write it all off and you happen to be in a situation where you need a loan, a mortgage loan or whatever, they're going to look and say, well, you didn't make any money.
Exactly. Well, they're going to see that you made money. However,
it all
went like, okay, you made $500,000. However, you don't have any money.
Yeah.
You're making, so you want to write off what makes sense.
Gotcha.
And I'll tell them, if you bring this to me, you have to let me know, are you writing all of your income off? Did you really? I mean, it just has to make sense for the client. And it's a very fine line with giving advice on finances, because I'm not a financial advisor. I always say this to my clients. Yet, from my experience, and although it's been my 8th year, you would think I've been doing it 20 years, because although I don't go behind another tax preparer and clean up behind them, I have so many men and women that comes to me and they're under audit. And let me say this, I am an enrolled agent as of 2023. Yet they come to me with their tax issues and will say, well, I was audited, or I can't contact my tax preparer. I need my tax return from last year. Well, by law, we're supposed to keep it at least 3 years. So no matter what, that tax preparer should be able to produce those tax records. I do not go behind another tax preparer and clean up behind them, because that audit could come over to me, and I've not ever had an audit.
Oh, wow.
So it's,
that's amazing that you've never had an audit. But
not
now
ever.
I have questions for that person that is in an audit.
Yes.
And they can't get a hold of their tax preparer. What is your advice? What would
contact the IRS and request a tax advocate? Yes, they will assist them. Yes.
Wow, that's deep. So you guys, I mean, for me, like that's deep, and and for me, because it hits home, and I say it's deep because the same way you started, as just preparing people's returns, there are other people out there that, hey, I'm doing this, I can help you. I can get you X amount of money.
I've seen it all online.
Yeah.
It's so much fraud.
Yeah, exactly.
In taxation, tax preparing. However, when that rubber meets the road,
you're getting audited.
And it's just not worth it. And speaking of auditing, I'm not sure, if it's okay to speak of the BOI, the beneficial ownership identification that is required.
Well, did you see that that Texas, that they appealed it, or they're stopping it, they're holding? So now it's like, what's going on?
Okay.
So
although they are appealing it, as of now, as of today, anyone that has opened a company, several years prior or even within the last year, by January 1st, 2025, you have to have that BOI. You go to FinCEN, FINCEN, to register your business. Now, if they just opened their company the last 60 days, no matter what, by law, they have 90 days. So if it passed January 1st and they've opened in the last 60 days, they still have 90 days from the date that they filed that EIN, that Articles of Organization, to have it filed. It's very serious.
Oh, wow.
I mean, this is very, very serious. And they're wanting to ensure that they know who is responsible for this company.
Yeah.
They're wanting to crack down on money laundering, et cetera, et cetera. So many different moving parts to the BOI, yet it's very important.
So even though it's under appeal or whatever it's under, it hasn't postponed it. No. It just means that it might go away. We might change it. But we're challenging it.
Where did it come from? It's like, when this popped up last year, it's like, this just doesn't even make sense. We give all of our identifying information to create the business. Oh, when we apply for the EIN, it's the IRS. And, we fill out everything. So, but it is still very important. Until they do away with it or amend it in some manner, we have to.
All righty then, we still have to do it.